All right, what's up, folks? Welcome to Traders Retreat. Got another video for you, and I thought today what we do is chart the up above the NAS where I don't have any zones. You can see I used to have zones and got rid of a lot of them. But knew we'd be coming back up, but you know what? At that point, I don't mind redoing these. Stuff gets sloppy. You can kind of see it down here. These I'll probably keep for a while, unless we go to like 5,500 or something, over the next 6 to 8 months. So that's pretty much how I do it. So what I'll just go over real quick what we are doing, or what we're in right now. We're still in a rising wedge on the NASDAQ. That would be here. You could chart it from down here. Maybe it's a rising channel, whatever. I'm not going to worry about it. We're also in the daily supply. So this whole gray zone, right, which is this middle line down to here, that's your daily supply, and that's what we've been watching. We broke above it and closed. We did fall back into it here, but the close was nice. The close got us above. Now the thing is, I've had zones here. If you look over here to the left, these are my regular zones, right? Got a regular one, got a little smaller, narrow one, whatever, right? These are the zones that I structure the trades off of. These are the bread and butter. You can see how we pulled back upon open here, and we're holding it, right? That's the thing. These zones make sense to me. We pushed up into it, fell back, ended up holding in this one. You gotta remember, these two white lines are a zone. These two, and then these two. These pink are 5 minute that I make and delete throughout the day. So anyways, we are holding that zone. So what I want to do now is go over how I, basically chart out the top, and I'll, you guys can follow along and we'll go from there. So basically it's always done on the 4 hour, and what I'm looking for, right, is where we push down. Obviously where we find support is going to matter. Where we're finding demand, and then, I'm looking for moves into a zone, and then obviously, a big move out of it. Also where maybe some consolidation happens. So, right where my cursor is here, we're going to snap one there and just see how it looks. Because, as I see it in the chart, I just kind of throw them up there, right? There's certain areas that are always going to stand out. This here, this bullish candle, that's going to stand out. So big thing, right? Makes life a lot easier. Make sure you have the magnet on. Weak magnet, right? That's what you want. I also have a quick chart here, or a quick drawing thing, whatever. So I snap, I'm looking for these lines here. Let's go over here and snap this to it. That's definitely, as far as I can tell, is going to be a zone. Boom. So you can see interaction already pop up. We come down, we tag it, bounce back up, interaction. Here we have a big push up. Boom. We stop in the zone. We kind of chop around, come up. Here we sit on above it, which normally that would be a bullish sign. And then we push up and boom, drop out of it. All right. So we found the zone here. Basically, we're looking for, these bullish candles. So we popped the zone here. We see this, we pushed up. We see the interactions as we draw our eyes across, right? This is a good sign, and it's not just, oh, why isn't it this one here? Well, there may be a little zone right here actually, but why didn't we just grab the top of this here? Well, the reason is that, number one, this stood out. And I mean, look, you can move your chart over, right? And find spots all over, but see how this big moves come down, and it actually closes. It's all about the candle close, right? Candles close inside the zone. And as we go across, we see, even as we push up, we retrace back down. Where do we find some demand? Right here. And we push up again, come down, the buyers are trying, but obviously this was moving through into the bear market, and we saw it fall off and crash down. So that's what we're looking for. I'm just going to keep going along, and I'll show you what I see. I like finding things like this where we come down and bounce, but I also want to check it. And that's where the crosshairs come in. You just kind of follow those. and see what works. Yeah, I actually like this, I think, better. No. All right, and when I'm not sure, I just don't even worry about it. Let's snap one there. That's definitely going to be a spot. You can see 3, 4 bottoms here. Another line. Yeah, and what I'm looking for relatively equal size zones on the indices, right? That's going to be the big thing. The index will have, or the futures, I guess you could say, will have similar zones for the most part, although, you know, it does vary here and there. So you just kind of got to go with whatever makes sense. Like here, we almost retested it, right? I'm not trying to touch the bottom of that wick. I'm not as worried about that as I am catching, you know, the bodies here. It lines up. See right here, boom. This is a confirmation. Not only do we come down into it and hold almost perfectly here, this red candle, we opened right here, had a slight push up, and then dropped right down into these zones. And now the other thing is, as price comes up here, I will add to these zones sometimes. You know, depending on what types of zones get added to it. So, I mean, if I need another small little zone in between here, like you can see, some of these are really small. You know, that's where they will the size will vary, but most of the time the main zones are going to be about the same size, at least on the indices. And it's just, you know, maybe that rule will fall apart eventually, but you know, when it does, I'll deal with it then. That's basically how my thought process goes. So here's a good example. This bullish candle, right? We pushed up. These are 4-hour candles. We had a big move up. Here, let's zoom in a little bit. Big move up, you know, and we had a doji candle basically bouncing back and forth. The body of that candle to me tells me that's a struggle zone, right? This is an indecisive zone. And that's what you want, because that's where the big moves come in and out of, right? It matches up with a lot of this price action here on these candles. I'm happy with that. You know, happy with this interaction. So perfect, we're good. And even here, right? Even here where we push up, you know, we've come a little, you know, we close this candle right here, but then the next candle, you know, we open at the top of this bearish candle, top of the body, push right up, tag the zone, and immediately reject, right? We reject back down to here, jump over, you know, we open this 4-hour candle. What time is that? So this is actually, this is the opening candle, the cash open candle. So this is all happening pre-market. This is overnight, or this is in the middle of the night, 1 o'clock or 1 o'clock a.m. So anyways, cash open, boom, we push up. We do close underneath, but then you can see this next candle. Very volatile day, right? Stuff like we're pretty much what we're used to all the time now. So, all right, so let's find a couple more. You know, obvious, I mean, this is obvious here. We find support going across. So the question is, where do you draw the zone? And for me, I like finding these pairs of candles, kind of like what we were talking about before. You know, I want, you know, where I can see the struggle, I guess. So I snap a line there. Let's work it across. This one doesn't look as good to me, but I think for now, I'm all right with that. Let's actually, you know what? Let's do this. I find this because this makes sense. I know it's going to match up with these candles over here. You know, and if you're doing this yourself, you're just going to have to get used to it. Take a little bit of time, because, you know, as you do this more often, you'll see, you know, you just get the hang of it. You kind of know what the candles are doing. So yeah, I like that a lot. And I found that right by the close of this bullish candle. And as soon as it clicked on it, you can see where the wick came up, tagged right at the top, This wicked up, boom, caught the, you know, tagged this. I mean, it's just almost perfect. So, yeah, we're going to go with that. Also, another thing is spacing. You kind of know there's going to be somewhat equal spacing in between. It doesn't always, it's not like a measured move, but definitely something you want to pay attention to. So here we're going to snap. Let's see. I kind of like that. Grab another line. I'm looking at this candle over here, and I want to see what it's going to look like if I just grab this bullish candle right there. Do I like that? Yeah. Not really, not as much, I'll be honest. So again, I'll just snap it back to where it was. Yeah, I guess I like that. This is where we pushed up out of this move. You know, we closed right here. We had tried to move higher, kept bouncing around. Would there be another one in there? Yeah, I like that. And then we fell out here. Same thing here. We almost got to it, chopped around, did finally push up, came back down, retested this zone, pushed up, obviously got into this zone. When we finally came back down, it's where we found support. So, and found demand. So we're going to roll with that. Let's now see. I guess we'll go up here. So prices right here on the NASDAQ. Obviously, I could wait and we could continue it. But I am going to grab this. And the reason I like this is you can just see it, right? This stands out like a sore thumb to me. That, you know, that's the top of the zone. And let's see, is that going to be the bottom? Or would that be? I almost like this guy right here. Yeah. So that's basically it. We're going to grab that. You can see we chopped up. We finally, that last candle pushed up into it. I like the interactions here. This is a perfect test of that zone. And this gives us perfect entries. The fact that we knew that, you know, I can see that this wick came right up and touched it. You know, we struggle here. I mean, there's just, what this translates into is that if we get a retracement all the way up to this zone, you know, this is not, you know, maybe we push into the zone, but I can be, you know, I know there's a good chance that if I have an order, you know, a sell order right here at this zone or just underneath it, there's a really good chance that once that fills, we're going to drop pretty quick. And that's what we want, right? We don't want to chop around inside the zone forever. I mean, if we have swing trades, that's fine, but that's not what we're, you know, it's not really my focus anymore. You know, maybe it will be in the future, but for now, we want fast moves if we can get them. So, all right, there is one here. All right, and that's probably as high as I'm going to go because I just don't care about the rest. It keeps this video nice and short. All right, so this is what we do. Now we're going to double check our work, right? I mean, it's about as simple as that. You know, do these look good as we move back in time? You know, we do have support here. I like that. Yeah, we're finding it over here. You know, we tested it. This zone looks good for the most part. It could be a little shorter, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. You know, that's something as price moves up, we can always look at. I do constantly like kind of, you know, go back over these zones. If anything, it gives you an idea of what the big picture is. Here you can see a perfect test, rejection. So yeah, I like these zones. This one's a little, you know, sometimes you'll see this is hanging out here. So it's like, is there a zone here? There could be a zone right here, but maybe it's just price action changing, right? You know, we did see a little action here. And by the time we get back here where we're in the bear market, you know, this makes a lot of sense to me, right? These two make a lot of sense. We're wick down, get bought back up and down. So again, I'm going to keep them. You know, I absolutely love the way the interaction is here. And it's all about being able to structure the trade around these zones, right? So the more you draw your own zones or you get used to the zones that, you know, that we draw, the more comfortable you'll be to structure your trade around it. And that's how you set up, you know, the proper risk to reward. And, you know, and the thing is, you don't need every trade to work. You just need to manage your risk when it doesn't. And then when it does work, you let that thing run. And that's what we do. So we're live on Twitter Spaces. Join us every day. You know, we do get there pre-market, at least a half hour, sometimes 45 minutes before market open. And, you know, join us and hang out. We're live all day. So that's at Traders Retreat on Twitter, same as the name here on YouTube. So I appreciate it. We'll see you in the morning. Let's see what the futures do.